All right, welcome to Roleplay Cafe. It's Dell here. We are on session. What is the number of this session?
29.
29.
I think it's
The Alien
29.
RPG.
29.
Yeah, with John as our GM. We got Todd, myself, Doon, Eric, and this I believe. So I've unfortunately missed the last couple of sessions due to work obligations, but I'm glad to be back because Bercher needs to answer some questions here. Let's jump into it, John.
Yeah. All right. So last time the group was tying up some loose ends, particularly Ozelinski's body was being hidden uh, by Kip and Cliff after they brought it back to the mother colony. Once they accidentally killed him back at the pirate base. Uh, and the governor of they basically admitted or told what happened. I don't know if admission is the correct term, but they explained to the governor what happened, and she requested that they not let this be leaked right now because of all of the uh, concern of the infection that's going around the mother colony, and she's afraid that this is going to compound things and cause some sort of riot or something along the lines of um, of that, and that is going to possibly ruin the attempt to get control of this through the scanning and quarantine process. So the group has tentatively accepted that, but I think that you brought Ozelinski's body onto the Solovetsky Island as in cryostasis uh, as a possible means of leverage. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So in the meantime, while that was going on, Yoko was up on the Ilyanla and the Solovetsky Island doing some preparations, making sure the comm array was installed correctly. Unfortunately, the technician who was responsible for that did not do a good enough job. That's up to Kip's usual standards. So Kip had to go out there and take. I'm sorry.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Oh, I
Shoddy
thought
workmanship.
Eric said. Yeah, I thought Eric said something.
Oh,
So he took care of that and discovered that the Solovetsky Island was almost being like watched in anticipation of them leaving. So with some of the information, essentially some encryption keys that Cliff and Kip found, they were able to basically configure their comms array to decrypt communication between the pirates in real time. They did they recorded the encrypted conversations while before they actually completed the setup, so they can go back and listen to that. But once they got it set up, it seemed like there were these two pilots inside of the ships that were floating out uh, behind the Solovetsky Island. We're just killing time and doing idle chit chat and that sort of thing. And the group decided that they were going to, I think you're going to try to lose them somewhere by make it look like you're going to another system and then actually go somewhere else. So we decided that was you needed Dudge's assistance for that. So you have to gather your crew together and decide both what colony on your list you're actually going to go to, and then also what is going to happen with Daver. So to recap that, way back at the beginning of the campaign, Daver was infected by eating some contaminated rations. His eyes turned pitch black, and he seemed to be completely unresponsive. So he's put in cryostasis, and has been that way for almost 3 months at this point. Um, and in the last session, Yoko decided to check on him, see what kind of condition he was in, and his infection, despite being in cryostasis, seemed to accelerate. And his head is distended. His skin is a sickly pale color. His eyes have large black. Uh, the skin is black around his eye sockets, and he's not doing too good. So Yoko decided that he was going to uh, consult Dr. Bircher, and now that Dell is back, uh, we're going to find out what Dr. Bircher's recommendation is.
Okay. Dr. Bircher looks at Yoko uncomfortably and says, yes, I know Yoko. I've been monitoring him. I wish it were that I could feel confident enough to remove whatever's troubling poor Dabber, but uh, as it is, he is a perfect specimen to examine what happens when this alien invasion uses a human as host. So we can see the stages that the body progresses through, and hopefully, any cure that we find to even slow this down uh, at whatever stage he may be in, we will see its effectiveness for those that have it are those that have a similar uh, affliction.
You want to keep him for study? This is exactly what they were doing down on the mother colony.
Okay, I kind of looked at you and kind of winced because I know you're disapproving of that. And how would you? But Yoko, I feel for the poor man. I do, but he would, I believe, want us to uh, ascertain what is going wrong
You
and correct it. Arrest this before it afflicts more of his fellow colonists. I think he is doing by way of doing
what
this
you yeah,
a
Yoko
great service.
Yoko's like a little conflicted. Part like understanding where you're coming from, but and then he kind of thinks for a moment and realizes our plan to bring all of the infected all the infective colonists from the mother colony up to the Elania to put them in cryo. That's not gonna last. Based on what we see here, more than 2 months. I I don't
Well, look,
know.
take a look at these studies. We've monitored him throughout the cryo sleep
Mm-hmm.
and what has been happening to his uh, his genome, his genetic reconfiguration here that has molded him on a cellular level, or recast his mold on a cellular level. And you see this, look. And then Bercher walks around and starts pointing out the obvious for
Yeah.
first, like the distended head, and I'll show you the fingers and the sunken eyes, and I'm sure we've uh, amassed some kind of a data to see if along certain lines of progression, it's more acute now, obviously. So maybe we can kind of see how this virus is affecting uh, it's more of taking over the body, the subject, the test subject. And Birchall will call him a test subject here and there and kind of correct himself. I mean Dapper.
Yeah,
Um,
Yoko understands the value of the study, like the scientific angle, um, uh, and Yoko is coming around. So, Dr. Bircher, I think you're right. It does make sense. If we're going to be putting everyone in cryo, we want to know how quickly it advances and when it becomes a real problem. Daver's still stable, and even though he is changing,
he is stable, and I do worry about the change. I
I
will
want to. I agree
admit
with you.
that.
We should keep him and keep monitoring his progress so that we know we can anticipate what might happen with the rest of the colonists. Um, my primary concern in that matter is keeping him. Well, they're all going to be on the Elania. My biggest fear right now is that we lose the mother colony and the Elania to uh, because of this uh, infection.
I
That's
would think
you know
I have really tried to separate and quarantine the infected from those to save the mother colony, even if we lose the Alanya. However, this planet that I hear uh, that you were debating on whether to go to another colonized planet as opposed to an uncolonized planet. I do not think that we need to go to a colonized planet to potentially infect more if they have it.
not only
Poten-
that we not only that the other the Mars outpost, the May outpost is it's not a colony who we've established a friendly relationship to begin with. So we don't have time in this crisis to be playing
Untangle
diplomacy.
that political, yeah,
I agree with you
situation. But
completely, Dr. Bercher, on that front. Our my
I do think we need to search out potential new habitats for us in
exact
case
that's
this
exactly what I
mother
was
colony
thinking.
goes awry.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I just have one last
Hold
question
on,
for you.
hold
Oh, well,
on. Wait.
Oh, are
So,
we there? I thought it was just those two talking.
is it just those two? Are we not in the room?
No,
and
That was
I
my
mean,
understanding.
it sounds like that they are in the same room. So
Yeah,
why don't we just assume that Bircher had come back up
we're already
onto the
up. Yeah,
Volvetsky Island?
yeah,
So that all four of you are there. So
Oh,
yeah.
And where are we?
oh,
Where are
damn!
we?
I would have
Let's
had a
say
lot
we're
more to
looking
say.
at we're looking at Daver. We're on the Ileana,
Okay.
and we're
All
like
right.
that's what I think.
yeah,
That was what I was
yeah.
imagining.
yeah, so you can either be in the same room and part of this conversation,
Oh yeah.
or you can be
Oh
on
yeah.
the Solovetsky Island doing something else.
No.
Okay, all right, take it from there.
You hear a click as Kip lights a cigarette in the background. Is this can I?
Okay.
Are you telling me you want to take this infected individual into another whole colony situation where we're going to put them at danger of possible infection?
No,
Oh,
they
You
didn't want to do that. They want to do the
they
exact
didn't want.
opposite.
Okay, all
They
right.
want to go to
so it
I
the
sounds like
understand.
you're with
uninhabitable.
us, Windows.
No,
Well, if
yeah.
that's your case, yeah. As long as you're
Bert,
not going to take. Go ahead.
Bertram grabs a stethoscope and tries to calm himself when you walk in the room. You're not necessarily his cup of tea, but he calms himself and breathes through his teeth, and he goes, "Yes, we do not wish to further contaminate uh, colonies beyond
All right.
those that have already been affected. We need to isolate and quarantine those here." And he gets a little bit unraveled, and potentially look for a place that we can separate uh, the infected from the non-infected.
Well, there's a
Well,
real
no,
easy way to fix this. Get rid of this, and there wouldn't be an infection.
no, the
Yeah.
infection. This is the same infection on the mother colony, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. It just seems like it keeps spreading wherever we're going here.
Yeah, and then Butcher slaps his hand down on top of the cryo chamber or whatever. This man here was infected with the food he ate. Those on the colony were infected by the food he ate. The food that they ate. The food was contaminated. It seems that there's political strife and some purposeful contamination of the food source and supplies.
But it
And
seems to me we should be looking into who's supplying the food. But I'm just a Marine grunt. What would I know?
yes,
Takes a
indeed.
big drag out of his cigar.
Get kind of smoky in here. Professor Smoking.
That's all right. The government pays for the scrapings I get for whatever I want.
All right, Bertie gives a long sigh. Gentlemen, and he's got tired eyes or whatever, and he rubs his eyes. He's been up working constantly. It's been why he's been out of pocket mainly. What do you wish to do? Is it not obvious?
I think so.
How long does it take to establish a colony versus how long does it take to play politics?
Are you asking for actual time frames?
I'm asking them, knowing Eric knows that the answer to that, but
I mean,
Cliff would.
if we get over there and they're amenable and hospitable to us, that would clearly be the fastest way to relocate or like have a path for our people to and our mission to go on. If they're not, then it is not a good. I don't see how we can squat on their that on their world.
Haven't you already overturned the apple cart with eliminating the general? Do you wish to do more political
I mean,
upheaval?
no, I didn't, because the general had nothing to do with those guys, and they didn't want any
He was working in
relationship
concert with
with
the
him.
pirates.
Yeah, they
Now,
didn't
Burgess
contact
spits
them.
a little bit.
They said they didn't want anything to do with the pirates because they didn't say anything.
If they didn't want to do anything to do with the pirates, I don't see how they will. I don't know what would make us any different.
Yeah, Butcher rubs his eyes, and damn it, I'm just concerned about eradicating this. And he makes a gesture toward Daver, his emaciated frame and his elongated head and whatever like that. We need this is what's important, not petty rivalries amongst political hopefuls. So anyway, if we get, go ahead.
I was just say, Cliff, this place is it's a classified it's a classified as a idyllic paradise world, most amenable for us, which means there will be things down there you could shoot.
He kind of takes a big drag and kind of smiles at you, and he says, "I see a thing I can shoot right now," and he kind of clicks at the cryo chamber.
No doubt there could be there could be wildlife and dangers to be had, but also potentially a balm for this cure. And he kind of puts his hand over where you're aiming at. I dare
Or
say.
there could be something that accelerates it or makes it mutate. As we've seen on the colony that you're trying to save, that seems to have an outbreak every other cycle.
Well, gentlemen, looks like we got a decision to make.
Shall we hold a vote?
You know where my vote is. I turn my back to the other two and break open my computer and start monitoring Daver again and doing some other research. Just let me know the result.
I just have one last question, Dr. Bircher.
Yes.
Is I know it's physically just mutating cells and so forth. But is Daver still in there?
It's altered his genetic code, his DNA. It's mutated it. But he's
yeah, but what
still
about his mind?
he's still his consciousness is not a byproduct of his material self. He is still there, I assure you. Though in a less than hospitable form, he would say. However, I don't know if he can function with the changes that are being made to his body. I don't know if he can. Damn it, I don't know. Bertram slams down. You can tell he's visibly frustrated. It's been hard for him to align the data with, hypotheticals. He is readily in a dangerous state. Anyone in his position would be. He's been under what for 2.5 months in a cryo sleep. It's slowed its progression, but it has not slowed it to a satisfactory degree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that any further development, he would not be in control of his faculties to make the body any use for him. So termination would be, and he kind of glances at the Marine over there chewing on his stogie, would be an option at that point. But I'll let you know when.
Okay. I'm, Yoko's just not happy, but it's not anyone's fault.
So anyway, if there's any other data that I could have pulled through, maybe.
No, actually, what you specifically stated is actually correct. There's no evidence to
Okay.
suggest that his mind has been impacted by anything, by any of these changes. His brain seems relatively unchanged, except that there is a particular area that seems to be growing to fill in the cavity that's forming by his distending skull.
Okay, gotcha.
But the actual parts of the brain that humanity knows to control, emotion and personality and that sort of thing seems completely unchanged.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I'm just at a loss in trying to extrapolate all the other new
Yeah.
evidences. It's and it seems to be coming at a more rapid rate. So I'm just trying to keep it from boiling over as it is.
All right.
Not
What?
not make the Marine too happy.
All right. What's everybody else's vote? Dr. Bircher's is obvious, I think.
Yoko votes to go to the new uninhabited planet, but yeah.
We get a
Cliff?
tie here.
Cliff,
What do you think?
Cliff kind of takes another drag, blows a bunch of smoke, irritating everybody in the room, and says, I still think the May colony is the best bet.
May colony.
Is that your vote, Kip? The May colony?
Instead of going to a pristine colony site that's never been blemished by any of this.
Yes, or at least what you consider relatively built up and successful colony, which is what the May outpost is.
Don't be afraid of a tie, because we have like 6 other crew members. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, they can break it or whatever.
Yes, that's the guy.
I
thinks.
I'm gonna. No.
Let's play spin the cryo chamber.
Spin the
See
cryo
which
chamber.
one
Here we
it
go.
faces.
Going to go with the May colony.
All right. Then that is split down the middle.
Very fun.
So the crew is going to weigh in.
Oh yeah.
There
And,
are
when
5.
when Kip says May Colony, Cliff puts his hand up for a fist bump.
If you don't want to decide, John, we could roll. We could roll to influence the rest of the crew.
Kip just looks at you. All right.
That's going to be. I don't want to go through that's going to
Yeah.
snowball into a whole lot of rolls.
You mean you don't want us
So
to go
I'm
catatonic and start screaming when we're trying to just decide where to go?
All right. So there's 5 members of the crew that have survived. You've only lost Daver at this point. So I'm going to, based off of their background, I'm going to make a decision on who would want to go where. So Lakota Monroe, who is your medic, she is a member of the Third World Empire.
Ooh.
Or I'm sorry, the Three World Empire. So she wants to go to the May Outpost since that is a Three World Empire location.
That makes sense.
So that's 3 against 2. Tan, who is your ICC inspector, he wants to follow protocol, and the pristine colony is actually on your list. It is the last one that you need to accomplish before you get your new assignments. So he wants to put the first phase of your job behind him, and he votes for the pristine colony. I'm not going to look up its number.
All right. Bercher fist
Um,
bumps Daver through the cryo chamber window.
Just open it for just a second to give him the fist bump. I'm
Yeah,
sure
there
it'll be
you
fine.
go.
Just open it for Everyone hold your breath.
Facehugger jumps out on you.
All right. Emily Quintana, who is your she's called a wildcatter. She's basically someone who scouts out new colony locations. Definitely wants to choose the pristine colony. She is very interested in the amount of resources it could provide to the mother colony, and it would look really good on her resume. So she is picking the pristine colony.
This is really fun because we're reminding everyone who the crew is, including
Yes.
you. It's very fun.
Some of us for the first time.
Yeah, Hamida Amir, who is a colonial marine. She is interested in learning about who exactly is at the May outpost, because it is potentially the single most powerful organization in the entire Spinward colonies. So that ties it up 4-4, which means that Dudge is going to be breaking the tie. He is a member of the UPP.
He also has a daughter
So-
with us.
Yes, and he has his daughter with him. So he is conflicted, both because the UPP tried to ally with the pirates, and they were rejected by whoever is running the May outpost. And that's a bit of an unknown. But a greater unknown is what exactly exists at this this pristine planet that has no colony on it. So he leaves it up to his daughter, and she votes. She wants to see uh, what a paradise world is like because she grew up on a generation ship of the Ilyanla and wants to experience a beautiful tropical world in something other than a simulation.
Sweet.
So,
I'm sorry, little girl, you don't get a vote. No, I'm just kidding.
Your vote doesn't
I'm
count.
voting for my
You're not
daddy.
old enough to vote. Are you registered? Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you
Okay.
registered?
Okay.
All right. So the vote comes down to out of 9, 5 for the pristine colony and 4 for exploring the May outpost at first. So unless there's going to be any serious attempt to
changes.
dissuade or violence to take control of the situation, then I think we're going to go to the
Violence, you say?
I know. I was about to say you shouldn't even introduce that. Wink, wink. Yeah.
So is everyone satisfied with the results of the vote?
Yeah. Well, I mean, last time Cliff did say that whatever everybody votes for, he'll go that
Okay.
way. So
Yeah.
he's fine.
All
Yeah.
right.
Kip will go along with the majority.
Okay. So you have an opportunity to fill in the free spot of Daver, the technician the mechanic being missing. You could replace him with Daniel McKenzie, who Kip
Daniel
might be.
McKenzie.
Kip might be against this because he's the guy that installed the comms.
Yep. Yep.
But he's the only potential new recruit that you have.
Oh gosh. I'll have to keep my eye on them all.
From the beginning, I was trying to test Daniel's competence, and I kept asking Windows because I know Windows would be the one to be able to assess it better than anyone else. And if Windows assessment is negative, sorry, Daniel, not welcome. That's how I feel.
No.
You know, maybe
I can't take it.
keep him working on the cryo project, and when we maybe he can come to May Outpost with us if he can clean up his work.
Yeah. I agree with that. You just
Okay.
no.
All right. Fair enough. All right. So it's just going to be the 9 of you. And when you're going through your logs and like reviewing all of the equipment and everything that's been and the reprovisioning that has taken place while you've been down taking care of infections and aliens that were on the Ilyanla, you notice that there are 2 Working Joe units that have been assigned to your ship and are plugged in and charging. Working Joes are synthetics, but they are not human looking. They have like very obvious fake rubber skin, and they're basically assigned for doing menial tasks such as cleaning, very basic repairs, that sort of thing. Communicate, like they can be used for communication between crew members when the comms aren't working correctly, that sort of thing. They do have to be powered on and brought online before they can start doing any work. So right now they are plugged in and charging and are not able to be communicated with.
You said there's 2 of them?
Yes. It seems that their assigned names are James and Miss Sophia. Uh, So you have, you have a full complement of vac suits, all of the food and water that you would need, uh, some of the tools uh, that Kip lost doing repairs that drifted off into space have been replaced. You have everything that you need for your trip to the next planet, which is KOI 1966.03. Is there any last uh, actions or information that you want to gather before you leave?
I want. What's Dudge's daughter's name again? Can you remind us?
Boy,
Yeah. Sorry.
it's been a long time. I'm going to say Catherine.
Catherine. Yeah. I just want Catherine to be in charge of our cat.
Sure. Okay.
We gave Catherine the cat when we got back because she was.
Yes. And the cat's name is Mr. Periwinkle, as that's what I have written down.
Oh, very good. Mr. Periwinkle and Catherine. Got it.
All right. Anything else? I will give you like a rundown of the planet, so you don't have to ask me about that.
Right.
But I just meant like non-colony related, like last things you want to do or things you want to try to find out.
We did confer with Dudge about the maneuver to send these people who are waiting for us to leave in some other direction. But
And he's fully prepared. He's fully prepared to give it his best shot.
Cool. And we don't really know how they're going to react when we actually move. I think
that's true.
We will see.
All right. Anything else?
Not from
Let's go.
All right.
Nope. Have some alien burgers.
Okay. So, let's.
Cliff does have one thing. I'm sorry, my mic was turned off.
Sure. Oh,
he wants a better weapon, especially now that we're going to the air quote paradise planet.
All right. What kind of weapon were you thinking?
He's looking at either some kind of flamethrower type thing or one of the smart guns.
Okay. Do you have a preference between the two?
He's going to think about all of the pop culture movies he's watched.
Okay.
And think about what is more likely going to happen when he's there. He's gonna go for like a flamethrower type thing, I think.
Okay. So the smart gun is essentially all you would normally be able to carry, except for like a sidearm or something like that. Because
Gotcha.
that's like this gigantic thing that you have to wear strapped to your back. I mean, there's a giant strap. It's almost 5 feet long, and then you have to wear all the ammo on your back.
John, stop! You already sold me. I'll take the smart gun.
Well, no, I was going to say, but the flamethrower, the flamethrower is more of a personal weapon, so you could have both that and your pulse rifle.
Yep, that's what he wants.
Okay. All right.
He likes the idea of one in each hand.
Okay.
Even though that's probably not possible.
One flamethrower in each hand?
Pulse rifle in one hand and the flamethrower in the other.
Gotcha.
All right. So I'm going to add the M240 incinerator unit onto your character.
Thank you.
Where'd it go? There it is. All right. So yeah, so you're about at your limit where you can have a pulse rifle, a service pistol, and then the incinerator unit.
Okay.
All right.
That eases his pain of not going to where he really wanted, and also the ship not having any weapons on it.
Okay, the ship does have like pulse rifles and like simple basic weapons that you can bring with you. But I think Kip Kip and Hamada are the only people that are. I'm sorry, not Kip. Cliff and Hamada are really the only people that are properly trained with these weapons. So um,
Maybe you can
yeah,
work with Kip to to not invent, I don't know, to manufacture some ship to ship combat weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Keep
That's
talking.
a
Yeah.
that's a long term project.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. So as usual, we need to establish who is staying awake and who is going into cryosleep. You have 150 days worth of rations total for you can feed the entire crew, all 9 of you, for 150 days. The trip to actually, let's flip over to the galaxy map so you can see where it's at. Oh, I'm sorry.
You
We went
said
the far
so
side
that's
route.
150 days of rations for all 9 of us.
Yes. Well,
That you said?
so let me. You can feed. Yes, you can feed all 9 people for 150 days.
Mhm.
So if all of you stay awake, none of you go into cryosleep, you could feed everybody for about 5 months.
Okay.
All right.
And how long's the journey to?
That's what
Is that
that's
it?
what we're
Where are we
gonna.
going? We're going
That's
to.
that's where it's establishing right now.
Okay.
All right. So the colony number is 1966.
03, and I don't see it on
Circle.
here.
Yeah. So the circle is the mother colony.
Right.
Uh, I don't see 1966 on here either.
I don't think it's on here.
No,
All right. So that means
no.
we get to pick.
Which one's going
So
to be it?
yeah. So
Oh,
I'm
there's
going to
one right
say.
next to it. Okay.
I'm going to say that it is this one down here.
Ooh.
So it is
Okay.
about a month and a half
Whew.
journey to get here.
From the mother
Uh,
colony.
yes, from the mother colony. Why can't I get this thing?
45 days.
Yeah, hopefully they don't tear each other to pieces while we're out. And then we got to come back.
I'm Yoko thinks we should all go into cryo and let Miss Sophie wake us up.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't mind staying awake. I like the quiet time.
Eating all our food? What happens if you get davered?
If I get davered.
Cliff was
Yeah,
going to say
you eat
something.
some,
He's just like,
eat some rancid food. Yeah.
is this food being scanned here, or because right after Butcher just said that those people have been sick from eating the food, is like, we're scanning this, right? This isn't poison, or is it?
Yes,
We have
there has been new processes in place.
New technologies implemented.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we had
Yeah.
everybody on planet side, and all the food being tested. We came back. So, I mean, maybe they can straighten things up on our journey to this planet and then back. Maybe we can find new food sources, or I don't know,
Oh, that would be really good. I'm sure.
new medicine and everything else.
Paradise
So,
Planet has everything. The amount of biodiversity should be off the charts.
oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully, if it's been rumored to be a paradise.
I can expand my
All
garden.
right. All right.
To the new people, Yoko has a garden on our ship in his room, a small one.
Yep, it sure does.
All right. So it sounds like Kip is staying awake. Is anybody else going to stay awake? I guess the default is going to be that you are going into cryo.
I'm not staying awake for a month. That's way too much time.
I think I need to.
Month
Bertram
and a
needs to
half.
be out because he's still monitoring Daver. I think he's stressed about that, so he's going to stay. Him and Kip
Wait,
can stay awake.
Daver is on. Where is Daver? I thought so. Daver was on the Elania, not on our adventuring ship.
Yeah, I thought.
So and
Yeah,
we didn't want to bring the infection to another planet yet.
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 Yeah, I mean, but he's been quarantined. We've been around him. You know what I mean? I'll eject him out of the ship before it gets too bad. But I certainly don't want him to break out or to accelerate to a point to where nobody's watching before that happens.
As
You know
far
what I mean?
as where Daver is, Yoko does support Bircher and wants Bircher to be able to monitor him because Bircher is the number one best expert doctor on this infection, and
Yeah,
for
can
him
tell
to be
by the
able
way
to
I
monitor
walk.
it directly is extremely valuable for
Yeah.
our survival.
I just have my finger hovering over that eject button the whole time.
Okay, so
But yeah.
Bircher's staying
So-
awake.
I mean, you do have to sleep if you aren't in cryo sleep. You know, can't stay up
He
for a
has
month and a
drugs.
half straight.
He has drugs for that.
No.
Oh, but yeah. I'll sleep by the cryopod in case it goes off, or the biorhythms or whatever it's monitoring in case they go funky.
Hey, Bircher, I forget.
Because I've already been attacked. I've already been attacked once. Bircher has. You know what I mean? So he's highly kind of keen on that.
He's
breaking loose.
these working Joes. You said they're not activated yet.
Yeah. So generally,
Oh, he said Joe's. I thought he said hose.
I mean, tell them to do whatever you want.
So the synthetics in general are used to make sure that things are running correctly while everyone's in cryo sleep. So the expectation is that even if all of you aren't out, you let's just say Kip and Bircher are the only ones that stay awake. These working Joes are there to supplement them so they can do more than just four hands can if something starts going on. There's one of them needs assistance or something like that.
Hold my beer.
They can also wake people up in an emergency if necessary.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so they could be taking care of the more mundane tasks around the ship.
Yes.
Well, the bulk of everyone is asleep, but
Yeah, the ones that you usually engage in.
yeah.
All right. So we have Bircher and Kip staying awake. Is Yoko?
Oh, that should be grand. The two of us awake for a month and a half with each other.
It's a big ship. You can stay away from each other.
Yeah. Do not cross this tape line.
I want to change my rival. Can I change my rival anytime, or do I can only do that at?
You don't make everybody rivals.
It's at the beginning and end, isn't it?
We're early enough in the session now.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want Bircher to be my rival anymore because I like his plans and I'm respecting his expertise. So I'll think about it. Yeah, I just want mentioning it.
All right, Eric. Is Cliff going in cryo or not?
Cliff is going to go into cryo. Yes.
Okay.
Because he completely trusts everybody else to figure out what's going on since they seem to know what's going on.
All right. Doon, is Yoko going into cryo?
Yoko's definitely going into cryo.
Okay.
Yoko will train a working Joe how to water the plants or how to tend to his garden. It's easy. You just have to do exactly this much light at exactly this hours and exactly this much water at exactly these times, and these nutrients here have to go in at. They can handle it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Let me just do a quick calculation here. 9 150 minus 90. All right. So I recalculated the rations to being actual units. So with only 2 people, so you have a total of 1,350 meals of rations. And with 2 people awake for 45 days, you're down to 200 or 1,260.
That's less. All right.
All right. So, yeah, so everyone, you know, the rest of the crew, Yoko and Cliff start getting prepared for cryo. You get down to your skivvies and climb into the pods. Cliff goes through this all the time, so this is no big deal to him.
Yep, I'm just kind of stretching out.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe even
So-
smoking the cigar until right before the door
Oh, he
closes.
definitely is. He wants to smoke so much that when he wakes up, it's the first thing out of cryo. He smells that still.
Takes in one big long drag and then exhales it when the doors close, so the
Yep.
entire pod fills up again. All right.
Can't see inside.
Does Yoko have any sort of ritual that he does before going into cryo?
No, he was just more
Right.
concerned with training just making sure the protocol programs on the Working Joe is correct to keep care of the plants. Is it so for the rival? Can I have my buddy and my rival be the same person?
No.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I'm gonna change my rival to Windows. I'll figure out a reason why.
Okay. All right. So a cryo is initiated for everyone, and Bircher and Kip go off to their own corners of the ship. What is each of them going to try to accomplish during these 45 days?
Well, I'm just going to make sure that everything's tickety boo.
Okay.
Keep things running smoothly. Keep an eye on the working Joes because I never fully trust these things. And I mean, I'm no scientist like a doctor here, but I don't know if I start to notice that our friend here in cryo is starting to look even more transformed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a decision about whether he makes it to our destination or not.
All
I have to
right.
take matters in my own hand.
Yep. Bircher's been monitoring for one, playing chess in his off time with himself, against himself rather. But he's been perplexed by who exactly could be like, even though he tried to resist this little political intrigue and the sabotage of the food, uh, and with the uh, the intern that stole, took the virus planet side, and all of the crap that happened before, whenever the genetic mutation broke out, and got loose. So he's been monitoring ways to keep that from happening, and also a little bit of paranoia after all that discussion, kind of looking over there at Daver, you know what I mean? Uh, with images of a chest bursting and all this, not necessarily, but yeah, how to make a stronger container for further progressions of humans with this, this affliction or the beast itself, whatever he had. So that's all. He just kind of a little bit at his wits end and stir crazy by the time they get there. I would think.
All right. So what is your like? So when you need to go to sleep, what is your protocol for monitoring Dabber?
Okay. I will probably sleep and have
Me? Me?
y-
What? I could watch things while you sleep.
yeah, well, I mean, if we want to sleep in opposite shifts, um, you know, you could take the night
Seems
shift
like
and I'll take the day. And
it's space. It doesn't matter.
I know
You definitely suggest that to each other so you don't have to deal with each other.
Exactly.
That's
That'll
exactly,
make
you know.
this.
It's for safety. It's for safety.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Totally.
please let me know. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
All right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So everybody, drop your stress to 0 if you have any stress. And I'm going to need um, both of you to make a stamina roll to see if there's any moment over these 45 days that you fall asleep while you're watching Dabber.
I assume my
Oh, it
depression
certainly didn't.
just
Go
for
ahead.
just for resetting stress. I have the depression condition from my permanent trauma. I want to make sure
Okay.
that it still sets to 0, or like this long cryo is going to overrule the depression effect, right? Normally, when I wake up in the morning, I like roll to see if I'm having a good day or a bad day.
Yeah. So uh, you're going to do that once you come out of cryo.
Okay, but I'll start with 0.
Yes.
Okay,
If
cool,
you,
very good. Because I had
it's either
one.
starting with.
If I'm having a
Okay,
bad day, I don't get to reset. I cannot reduce it. But
I got you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Dr. Bircher failed. Actually, you shouldn't be rolling stress. Uh, that's why I had you guys roll reset your stress. So
Oh,
you can. This is for Dell. So you
oh,
got 3 successes. I mean 3 failures. So you can push if you want, but you should have 0 stress right now. So I'm going to bump you back down to 0 stress. So
okay.
if you want to push, you can. All right.
Mm.
I don't know why I just rolled through that. I guess it remembered that. I don't know. Let's double check your character sheet and make sure it didn't just bump you up. Okay, it did increase your stress to 1, so you're okay. All
Okay.
right, you did get uh, your success. So there's one shift where Dr. Bircher is really, you know, drifting off and you know, really struggling to keep himself awake. And I, so basically, you're going to you're closing your eyes for a few moments, and then opening them up and keeping yourself awake, drinks, making yourself coffee so you don't fall asleep. I need you to give me an observation roll to see if you are able to notice something.
All right.
All right. So, this one time where you know you're you, you're pretty confident that you weren't asleep, like you didn't close your eyes for more than maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Uh, and when you opened them, you could see that Miss Sophia was going over the scans of Daver, almost like she was doing a routine review, just like you've been doing several times over the
Okay.
course of the 45 days.
All right. Um, Now, is she qualified to do this? I mean,
I mean, she is I mean, she's qualified to look at basic vital signs.
Yeah,
she wouldn't be able to like determine the progression of this infection, but she would be able to like make sure that he's not, you know,
she's just
that
helping
all
me monitor him. You know what I mean? So I feel a
exactly.
little
Yeah.
secure in that. So,
Okay. All
I
right.
I don't think it rattles me.
All right. So once you wake yourself up, uh, I would assume that you take over and make sure she didn't find anything of any significance. The progression of his infection is not dramatic um, over these 45 days. It is noticeable. His skin is starting to look uh, like it is sagging a little bit, almost like there's extra flesh there, and it's
Wow.
beginning to lose its structural integrity.
So
Uh,
sloughing off a little bit
ex-
or down. Gotcha.
yeah, it's very slight, but um, it is noticeable. Uh, but other than that, his general vital signs are pretty good.
Okay.
Does this what does Kip think about this when he's looking at when he's monitoring Daver? He certainly notices this drooping skin
I
too.
noticed it too, right?
Oh,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, it's hard to miss.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting kind of freaked out about this, and I. So, is there a way for me to be able to inject this thing without actually having like? Can I do it from the cryopod, or do
Uh,
I have to roll them out to
so
an airlock?
so
Can I do it on my own?
to do an injection out the ship would be more difficult, but because this is a contamination unit, there is like an incineration option where it pumps the cryopod full of oxygen and then ignites it. So it is designed to be able to vaporize whatever is inside of it. And that's unique to the type of pod that he's inside of. It's not like all
Right.
pods can do this. Uh,
Okay, so
it's
his
just
pod can
Stay away from my cryopod.
Like, damn, the future's hardcore with our chiropods.
How long are we into the journey when we're
I'm going to
seeing this?
say why don't we say like 39 days at this point, where the
39
drooping
days. Oh man.
where the drooping skin is I mean, is noticeable, and because it's gradual, and
Right.
you're just taken aback one time while you're looking at them that you notice that it is it, it's gotten obvious at this point.
I see. The working Joes. Do they have an opinion on this? They've noticed.
They say that it's probably best to consult with Dr. Bircher. He is the expert in this. By my accounts, uh, Daver seems to be in rather good health.
Yes. He's going to be in fantastic health by the time he's done this, and able to eat us all. Oh, I tell you what. Why don't James and Miss Sophia go do some maintenance somewhere far away on the ship?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Kip would certainly be able to come up with some maintenance that
I
needs to
come up
take
with
place.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it certainly seems believable to them. So,
that's right. That's right. Okay.
all right.
And I'm not taking this chance with this. You know. So you know what? No, I'm not. I can't do this. Can't do it. I'm gonna incinerate him.
Okay. Dell, I'm going to,
Well,
since
yeah,
Bircher has
Birch
spent
is
so much time
asleep.
with him, he's asleep.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to have established some sort of like countermeasure or something that's taking place, if in
Oh
case
yeah.
you are afraid this may have happened. It will,
Um,
if you want to, it will require a ComTech roll in order to have successfully implemented it.
yeah, I just want to have to where if it's tampered with or if it's adjusted or any as well as from the outside or from any activity from the inside to notify me in my cabin, which just be like a wake up alarm, basically, a
Okay.
notification. Maybe not overly blaring, so but something, depending on the thing of it. So that's probably basically if he starts turning knobs or whatnot, or pressing buttons, yeah, they'll let
You're
me
gonna
know.
know, but it won't stop.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not a single button I have to press to do this.
But like
You know,
incinerator, yeah, I think you would have to go through some kind of
multi-stage.
I would say
Yeah.
some kind of safety protocol
Yeah.
measure that you would have to press in a
Maybe I'd
code
even
or
have to like
something.
override something to be able to do it. Maybe you set some sort of
Yeah,
security
it's
in
like a
there.
passcode. You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
just nobody can walk in there and leave a
No,
little
no,
button
no.
accidentally and
Oops.
It's
Okay.
happened too many
So,
times.
yeah.
I was just
Did I
standing
do
here, and Miss
that?
Sophia went over to
It's
the
just
controls.
All right. So just to be clear, are you saying that you're going to put something in place that he needs some sort of passcode to do it, or
Yeah, to
is
do something like
yeah, I
that.
think
That's
that'd be more interesting. Yeah.
okay? All right. So give me a ComTech roll in order to have established this, because I mean, just about anybody should be able to do this in an emergency. But it is not like a button press. But if you want to prevent him from being able to do it without knowing the passcode, then
I would say my fingerprint, but he'd probably cut off my thumb or something and take it easy.
go ahead and give me ComTech.
You want me or Todd?
Yeah, no, you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. You got one success. I'm not going to allow you to push it because
Yeah,
you weren't trying to achieve anything before. But now, Kip,
yeah.
if Todd, if you want Kip to be able to try to override this, you need to beat one success with a ComTech roll. But when you realize that he put this in place, you could stop and just choose not to try to override it. It's up to you.
Or you can push.
Well, if I
Kip
push,
will be able,
would I be able to? Yeah.
Kip will be able to push, but Bircher cannot.
No,
push.
but it's definitely not going to look accidental.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think all the fire
Unless
sounds would go.
if I push it, can it make it look like a malfunction?
If you get more than two successes, you can make it. You can use that extra success because you need two successes to beat Bircher. If you get a third or more successes, you can try to hide the cause of it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I don't want to take this thing to this place.
You got this. You got this.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Here we go.
Oh,
There you go. All right. Now, do you want to push?
So if I push, I can cover it up.
You automatically get
Right?
stressed if you succeed.
Well,
if you get another success,
you have to get another success. You'll get to roll 4 extra dice or 4 more dice.
Right. Okay.
But
do I have to say anything here? What do I got to do here?
No, you just have to hit the press.
Okay, so I'm
hit
just
the push.
press push. Yeah.
Question mark.
Okay,
Yep.
here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Oh,
you didn't get it.
It has
All
your
right.
fingerprints all over it.
All right, so yeah, so Kip sees this passcode screen flash up when he tries to initiate the incineration function, and he successfully bypasses it. But that's when Dr. Bircher gets an alarm in his private quarters, waking him up, and
That's
you
okay.
get a notification that some significant event took place in
Okay.
Davers' cryopod.
The last I remember, I'm stumbling up and I'm getting my what do you call them things? The smock or not? I mean, whatever doctors wear. Anyway, yeah, get my gear on and I'm leaving. Then the last thing I'm shaking my head. The last thing I can remember is I'm taking one of my pills when I'm leaving. Douse the water, but I'm doing it hurriedly. Last thing I remember is that what's her name? I can't remember her name. She was in there messing around. Yeah.
Miss Sophia.
No, Miss
Miss Sophia.
Sophia. So maybe Miss
Yeah.
Sophia triggered something, and so I'm patting my barefoot way down the hall toward the room.
Right.
I'll be having a
You
cigarette by the time he arrives.
you yeah. So when you enter the room, you see Kip standing in the corner smoking a cigarette, and you can see that there is the you know a light flashing inside of the cryopod, and you can tell that Dabber's body is gone.
There's a lovely
Look,
glow coming
around
off the cryopod.
around your cigarette, yeah, lighting up your face or whatever. I look at you and look down, and look him. Windows, what are you doing in here? And I look at the pod and it's gone. What happened, man? You,
I
you just
just
standing there
stub up
nonchalant?
my. Yes, I am. And I just kind of stub up my cigarette and I walk past it. I go, I did what had to be done. And I leave him.
Oh, I'm kind
Walk
of
out the
mouth
door.
agape or whatever like that, and I try to grab you two fisted by the lapels and shake you around a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily how effective or more so probably ineffective it would be, but that's what I'm gonna try to do: arrest you before you walk out, and just glare in your
Arrest.
face. Yeah,
Uh,
stop your movement outside the room, kind of spin you around and spit in
okay.
your face.
All right. I'll let you do that. I'll kind of look down your hands on my lapels, give you a moment to take your hands off me.
Yeah, and I'll slide and slide him off and kind of defeat it almost. Just look down, get out of my work area.
Gladly. I walk
All
out.
right. So Bircher's stress is going to go up another level,
Yeah,
up to
you'd
2
figure
from
that
that
would.
encounter. What's that?
Yeah, you figure that be having to deal with Kip like that.
Yeah.
Stress. Okay, you already put the stress on, right?
Yeah, I already bumped it up for you.
Doesn't this game have
Uh,
rules for killing someone, like a person?
What?
You have to like roll for emotional distress in this game. I swear I swear it's a rule. I swear I saw this was a rule.
Gotta be a roll.
It does. That's true. All right.
I
So
mean,
the 40.
he's not a person anymore, I would argue.
That's debatable too. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's fair.
All right. The ship arrives. The cryopods automatically reopen once you reached high orbit around the planet. Why don't the rest of the crew starts getting up and stretching and drinking some water. What are Cliff and Yoko doing?
I get up in stress and just immediately say, "I gotta pee," and just go to the bathroom.
Like Austin Powers. Yeah.
Yeah. for a good minute or like 2 minutes or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
about
no.
Yoko?
Yeah, I think I remember I don't take cryo too well. I kind of didn't like it, but at least I'm just like woozy and slow, but I'm getting up. I'm that's all. Just woozy and slow to get out.
People
Why don't you do
yell at
your
you through the bathroom. If you go pee, you'll feel better.
Why don't you do your role for your
Bad day.
traumatic
Yes.
bad day
Or sorry, it's not called. It's called depression. Is my
depression?
What's
name.
that? Depression?
I had permanent trauma from some event,
Right.
and so
Oh,
now
I know.
now I'm depressed. So I'm gonna roll empathy.
Hey,
Oh, all right. You got two.
And,
It's
ooh, I
good. It's a really
succeeded.
good day.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Maybe you take Cliff up on his advice
and go
and
pee.
relieve yourself, and that seems to do the trick.
Oh. Yeah.
So, once you guys are, reorienting yourself and dressed and, checking the log and, seeing if there's anything going on, that's when you find out about the fact that Daver is gone. I'm sure that Dr. Bircher left some record that uh, Kip initiated the incineration.
Oh yeah, yeah. I immediately put all that in the files.
Are Bertram or
Reprimand.
Kip in the area, like in the room with like where we're kind of re-prepping, or like
If you're having, I'll probably be down in the galley.
Yeah,
And,
I would be away from him. We haven't spoken since then.
when
'Cause-
Cliff reads the update, he just smiles and goes, just does that. That son of a bitch, he did it.
My first thought is I hope our Bertram and Windows okay. Like did something happen? I want to go find them. I guess I go to the galley or whatever, and I see them, and I kind of breathe a little bit of relief.
I'll be sitting over a bowl of
Mush.
porridge or something. Mush.
Well, it's
nice.
nighttime. Birch is asleep right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's all
Yeah.
quiet.
That high protein mush that they give us,
Windows, what happened? Are you okay? Is Bircher okay?
I don't even look
Where's
up.
Bircher?
He's probably in bed by now, I guess.
You guys don't eat together?
Not once the whole time you guys have been asleep. We kind of like it that way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened? Was there an incident? Did something happen? Did Daver
Yeah.
wake up?
Yeah. Davers was as far as I could tell, was getting dangerously close to sloughing off his skin and emerging as whatever he's turning into. And I think enough was enough. I took it upon myself. I incinerated him, Yoko. I put him out of his misery.
But and Bircher was okay with this?
Now I look up at him bemused over my bowl of gruel. Take a big mouthful and go, no, he wasn't happy about it at all. But you know what? He's got his science blinders on, He's willing to threaten everyone on this ship just to get his science on.
Threaten everyone on the ship.
Anyway.
This is I'm like what, like Windows threaten everyone on the ship. His research, his studying of Daver was to save everyone in the colony, not just the people on the ship.
Well, it wouldn't do us any good if we didn't make it there. That's the way I saw it.
Well,
Not an issue anymore. He gets up and he goes and gets himself some more of the space gruel out of the automatic dispenser. Another cup of coffee
Bircher
too.
rolls over in bed and punches his pillow a couple of times.
I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry, and then I'm gonna go to
Probably
Bircher.
crying into his pillow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go find Bircher and talk to him. That's what I'm doing. I leave that scene.
Yeah, you do that.
All right.
All right.
Why don't we discuss kind of the overall, give you guys an idea of the aspects of the colony planet,
Oh yeah.
and then we
Have
can
a rotate it?
do the interaction between
Okay.
Bircher and Yoko.
Okay.
All right. So this colony, this planet, is the third position in the solar system. It is the only rocky planet. There are 3 asteroid belts, which Emily tells you could potentially be mined once the colony is established. And
You said 3
some
asteroid
mining.
belts?
Yes.
Okay.
It has standard Earth gravity. The climate is temperate and the atmosphere is breathable. There is an abundant amount and variety of life on the planet, both plant and animal. Initial scans show no human life down there, but you are picking up a still active scouting beacon that you know to be used by scouting teams such as yourself to signify that it is being surveyed for a possible colony. The age of this scouting beacon must be several decades, so it's amazing that it is still functioning.
So usually these scouting beacons, they get sent to the surface from space, or they are planted by a crew?
They're planted by a crew, such as yourselves. Okay. They'll go down. They'll put a scouting beacon on there, saying, this is where we land, and that is basically the location where. I'm sorry, that's not where they land. That's where the colony, initial structures for the colony should land. And these things are usually solar powered, so the temperature, the weather there must be very favorable, because if there's not harsh conditions, this thing has been running for at least 75 years, based off of the codes that are coming off of the beacon itself.
Are there oceans?
I'm sorry?
Are there oceans? Is it
John?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, after you said that, okay, but before you said temperate and breathable, what was the point you made before that?
The point
in between the 3 asteroid belts. You said the 3 asteroid belts mining,
it's
and then
standard Earth gravity, 1G.
Oh, okay, that's what standard.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So the location of this beacon is there is a main continent that is basically in the northern hemisphere, well into the northern hemisphere. It's a location that would generally be icy in places such as Earth. It's like essentially like northern Canada, northern Russia. But the weather there still seems like it is about 20 degrees Celsius. So it's still pretty pleasant there. The area around it there's a a series of rivers and mountains that surrounds the area where this beacon is. Uh, but some significant areas that stand out to you is there is a collapsed cliff face that's about 25 kilometers to the north. It's radiating signatures for rare and highly sought after minerals.
Hmm.
50 kilometers to the south, there's a group of lakes uh, that almost seem like they might be artificial in their general shape and size. Uh, and they are filled with various forms of sea life, but particularly uh, there is bioluminescent plants in there, and they are flashing all these different colors like red, auburn, green, yellow, and orange. It could be an excellent source of food for the colony that may be established here. 200 kilometers to the northeast, there's a vast plain that is filled with large bipedal creatures. Uh, could be, I'm sorry, not bipedal, quadruped. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to
Like
say,
Jesus.
like
Uh,
T-Rexes.
that could be an excellent source of protein for the colony. And there is a large area of increased thermal signatures to 100 kilometers to the east. It is hard to make out exactly what is causing this. It require a little bit more research.
And this is all around that beacon, correct?
Yes, the beacon is that point of context for all of those distances.
Okay.
So is the beacon providing this information?
No, this is just scans
I
that
mean,
your ship
it's
is
just a
doing
beacon.
from orbit.
Yeah.
Oh, just okay. We're just scanning around the beacon and we're seeing all this.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's not
You kinda
relaying
zoom-
anything to us.
Exactly.
All right.
These scans
Okay.
are amazing. I'm like very excited now. This is looking even better than I thought. Wow. They said
well, I mean,
paradise.
can we scan the beacon and maybe it has a black box of information or something
Go say there's
Uh,
something
over
we
the
can connect to
history?
it.
You know? Yeah.
The beacon is really, it's not a distress beacon, but it works the same way. There's like a code that it's emitting, and that code explains that it is a scouting beacon, and it doesn't talk about anybody who placed it there or how long ago it was, but specifically, like the code itself doesn't. But by referencing your database of all the colonies, the
Yeah.
code matches uh, a one of the colonies that went dark uh, like very early on, almost 20 years into the uh, the far spinward colonies. It went dark. So it's been about 75 to 80 years that this beacon has just been sitting there going off. It doesn't provide any specific information. That's just what
For
you're able to
virtual,
deduce.
yeah, for virtual paradise, or veritable paradise, it would look like it could contain human habitation for it to go dark so soon. Perplexing. It makes me wonder what exactly
Why did
eliminated.
they not colonize here?
Yeah, it's pristine. And we're all witnessing it. You know,
It could
in
have been
front of us.
it could have been anything. We don't know what happened. We should.
There are other creatures that still habitat.
Is there any way we can get eyes on what's going on down there? Besides actually
Uh,
going down there?
I mean, you could take a drop ship and fly around. You don't necessarily have to land. You can get a better
There's
sense
Yeah.
for
I
what
didn't
it
know if we
is.
had
But
like drones or something we could send out to.
Send Miss Sophie.
no,
Nah.
there's.
Just kidding.
Send what?
Send one of
I
our
mean,
working Joes.
Yeah.
you can try to gain more information by you know digging into some of the readings and stuff, which is going to require some rolls.
Okay.
Uh, but essentially, uh, all you're able to do is take photographs from here, read your the results of all of your scans, and try to gather what you can. I mean, you can get a pretty good picture, but you're not going to be able to. There's no drones that you can send down. You can certainly do a flyby
Yeah,
uh,
I was
and
more
get a better
interested to see
sense.
if like anything got even remotely started here, because like everyone's saying, it's kind of
Yeah,
weird
we have to
that
fly by and see if there's
So,
remnants.
yeah, the only um, I guess evidence of humans being here is a small like camp that seems to have been established around this beacon. Uh, it's not grown, it's really just a couple of like crates and stuff that probably came down with them, and a very basic shelter that has since collapsed. That
yeah,
appears to have
it's
since
probably all
collapsed.
overgrown by now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
been a
there's no structures or evidence of any ships that crashed here or anything like that,
All right.
and you can tell that from your scans.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. I got a list of things I want to do, but I didn't know if you guys wanted to hash out your trauma or whatever you're having right now, because Cliff Cliff does not care about that and thinks Kip did the right thing, so he is done with it.
Yeah, in my imagination, I'm just getting the what Bertrude knows, which is what we already know. I don't have anything to say in particular, and I'm pretty much with
yeah.
Bertrude.
I
It's
mean,
like, what can
I
we
would,
do
I
now?
would,
We can't do anything.
yeah. It's already what's done and done. Birch is a little bit closed lip around the others, since he knows, but around you, when you sit and have dinner with him or whatever like that,
Good.
he'll say that he reported it. You know, Kip will find his way, but then he will reluctantly admit that he was concerned himself and almost at the point, but Kip shouldn't have overstepped his. It was a breach of what he should have done, but he had been Bertrand had been monitoring him for 36 days in before it happened, and the distended skull had given him nightmares, restless nights, thinking about Mother Michaela and whatnot. And so this is what he's going to admit to you that he fears about this planet that they've come to, because there should be no reason there shouldn't be habitat. You know what I mean? With well, might as well call it the M type planet. You know what I mean? That has everything that would sustain a colony, but they're not there. What has happened? So anyway, he's all for a flyby to get a view.
I agree. It's worthwhile to be cautious here, although it could be anything. I'm not ready to jump to any conclusions.
But you tell Birch is a little bit worn thin or spread thin like so much butter, Tolkien would say. Um, just from being around Kip, but also you could tell like he's admitted about his fear
Mm-hmm.
from what he witnessed with Daver before Kip did what he did.
Um, anyway, so if we're talking about what we want to do as a crew or as an expedition, I agree. I just think we ought to just go check out the beacon, which means like send our away
Yeah.
team down there to go.
Yeah, we need to get on ship and head
Yeah.
south.
Yeah.
Birch would be up for that too.
Get on that
Alright.
ship for a little bit.
I'm up for that, but while we're up here, is there any way the flashing bioluminescent thing kind of piqued my interest? And before we go down, is there any way we can tell, or if I can make a roll or something, to see if that's like a pattern of some sort? Thinking that maybe it might be
Uh,
a signal or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Give me an observation roll. Yeah. So you you start following the pattern over a set period of a few minutes,
Mhm.
uh, and you can consult the computer to analyze it, and you are confident that this is entirely random.
Okay.
There is just no hidden signal or anything.
Okay. I didn't. It just seemed weird to me, so I want to check that out. All right. Mystery solved.
I also, while you guys were talking, I actually remembered that we never did the Judge's piloting role to lose those pirates.
Oh yeah.
So I just did that. I took another 45 rations off because that means that Dudge was awake the whole time. Uh, and he successfully lost those pirates.
Sweet.
Um, he is not entirely sure whether they have no idea where where you guys went, uh, but he is confident that they could not follow the last, or I'm going to say not the last jump, but about halfway through, he jumped to a different system uh, and lost them then. So you are no longer picking up any of their radio broadcasts or anything.
Um,
They seem to be talking. They were basically just talking about following the ships the entire time, and
okay. Yeah, yeah. So
how
they're
they're
talking about following. Their
the
job was to trail us clearly.
yes.
Okay.
In fact, uh, they were getting exhausted, having to stay awake for so long. That's probably what contributed to them losing you when Doug jumped somewhere different than they anticipated.
Good old Andy.
All right. So you guys want to go down to the beacon and find out what was there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right. Who's going to go down onto the planets?
I'm going.
Cliff is
I'll
ready.
go.
He'll go.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, Emily wants to go. Uh, she is excited to see the potential of this colony. Everyone else is happy to, especially Hamada, especially since now Cliff is here. She can make sure things run smoothly and there's no infighting up on the ship. Yeah, if you want to.
I got feelings. I just don't trust them. The yeah, we leave 10 up there in Dutch.
All right. In that case, since Dudge isn't coming down, someone's going to have to pilot on the way down.
Hey, I've got some
Emily.
piloting.
Okay, Emily has one, and
I
so
got
does
one.
Hamada. Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody can anybody beat one?
I got -1, I think.
Negative.
Nope.
Right.
Okay. So
I've been
is
practicing.
is Kip doing it then?
Well,
Yeah,
come on.
fine by me. We got 0.
All right. Actually, since you have the training, since you're trained, you don't actually have to roll because
Okay.
there's no weather or anything, uh, or weather issues. You
Yeah.
get into your, you guys load up into the drop ship. Is Cliff coming fully equipped?
Oh yeah.
All right. Uh, Hamada is also bringing her pulse rifle. Uh, as you guys make your way down onto the planet, you get a better sense for why the beacon was placed here because the area it's almost like the center of this large 3 kilometer wide grassy plain. And you can see the remnants of these tents that were down here, and they were set up around this scouting beacon, and there is a large set of crates that looks like it has fallen onto its side, and you can see inside of it. It's kind of cracked open a little bit. You can see some solar panels that have spilled out onto the ground, and grass has started to grow around it. You're not sure if they would be salvageable. You'd have to take a closer look. But once the dropship lands and you guys unload, you can see that this stuff certainly has not been disturbed in quite some time. Everything's overgrown. There is a beat up uh, 8-wheel drive tractor that is uh, perhaps salvageable. Kip would have to take a look at it, but other than that, you don't see. Those are the only things that you see of any significance. What were you going to say, Eric?
Uh, I want to take out my motion tracker and get that booted up as
Okay.
we're ending.
Yeah,
I'll be taking the foreign phone on myself, but go ahead.
you fire up your motion tracker and start scanning the area, and you're not picking up the movement of any large living things within the range of the tracker.
Okay. Well, there's nothing very big moving around here, guys. I don't know if that's odd or not.
All that's in these crates, you said, are solar panels.
Well, that's what there was a set of large crates there that were old solar panels that kind of cracked open. You'd have to start going through all of the smaller boxes that seem to be the supplies that the scouting crew is probably using.
Well,
Is that what is that? Is Kip going to do
that's what
that?
I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
All
I'm gonna
right.
go through the stuff.
Give me an observation roll.
Cliff will eventually wander over there after he does his thing or whatever.
Okay.
Ooh.
Skip, you want to push?
Yep. Always.
All right. You got 2 successes. You are able to determine that there is a significant amount of food and water in here that is obviously rotted away into almost nothing. In fact, some animals seem to have gotten into it. The equipment itself is probably something. I mean, it's archaic from Kip's point of view. It's something that it's from over 150 years ago. Kip can't even imagine trying to do any work with this stuff. So even if it was salvageable, it's probably not even worth using because you have a much better equipment. You do realize that there's some damage to the containers themselves. It looks like what you thought was them breaking down and rotting away is actually looks like something like broke the containers open, and that you follow the damage across the these boxes that have the equipment and perishables in them, and it seems to continue into the tents themselves. What you thought was the just age and the weather breaking down these tents, you realize that they were destroyed by something.
Okay. So I will relay this to companions. It's like something is damaged these tents and containers long ago, though, right?
Yes, yeah,
Right?
back,
Yes.
I,
Yes.
as it certainly appears that these things were destroyed a long time ago, and all the plants and grass and stuff started growing around it.
So there's quite possibly some other life form on this planet that's capable of doing this. That's beyond what we've already seen in the vicinity of this beacon. So we
Okay.
might want to do
What are
some expanded scans if we can.
Are there is the destruction? Are there any like you see any claw marks or anything? Any indication if it was just trampled or if it was
Yeah, what's my take
well,
on that?
yeah, you
Yeah,
have
it's
an extra
claw
success.
mark.
So I will tell you that it appears that these things were violently damaged in some sort of an attack. It's too old and worn away to be able to specifically identify it as a claw mark, but something, it looks like they got into a fight with something here, and that fight ended up damaging all of the vast majority of the tents and all of
Any
these boxes.
Okay. Any signs of remains in the tents?
You check the last two tents that were undamaged, and you can find uh, there are some bones uh, in the corner. Uh, it looks like it was partially dismembered. There is some shredded up clothing that is, still wrapped around the appendages and torso that you can see. And you do notice that there is a compad, a very old one, that is buried about 3/4 next to this thing's body, or to this body in the tent.
I'll pull that out. Is there any way to retrieve any of the information that's on it?
You're gonna have someone's gonna have to do a Comtech roll to give this thing power,
Mhm.
and and see if it is if it's even functioning.
Okay. I'll walk out of the tent towards the others and say, "Look, I found this pad. Maybe it's got some information on it." Anybody really good at Comtech? I've only
Nope.
got one.
I can contact it. Yeah, I think if I use the battery here on my device, might be able to rig it.
I got
Right.
2 on Comtech myself too.
My
Yeah, you
contact
might want to have a look
is
in there, Doc. I think we got some human remains in that tent there too.
Oh,
why don't you
Nothing
look at
but
what's
bones.
yeah, look at the bones.
it's in the bones.
Okay, Dr. Bircher just rolled
Yep.
Comtech up.
Yep. No, that's good.
So
He can do it. We're both are
okay,
capable, so he can
all
do
right,
it.
all right, you got the success. So yeah, Bircher manages to wire up his own compad to this thing, and it boots up, and you can see. You start looking through it, and it sounds like the only retrievable data in here is uh, essentially the survey that you did yourself. Uh, that except the data is a lot less complete than your own. But you do find a personal log of the expedition leader, whose name is Darren Baco, and I'm going to post that to uh,
Wow.
to the journal. But I'll skim through it real quickly. They've named this planet Aljana, uh, and they considered it the perfect location for a new colony because their initial colony was running out of resources. And their surveys were very encouraging. They found plentiful resources with only a couple hundred kilometers of this place, which is why they chose this location. But the retrieval ship did not arrive on time, and they were waiting and waiting and going through their resources. One of their crew suggested that there may be solar flares that are preventing communication. But eventually, when their supplies were almost completely gone and there's still no retrieval, the team started to become dispirited, and they started casting their net out further and further to try to find a better source of food, so that they could survive until the ship arrived. So I will post that both in Discord and in our journals in here. I think that'll be a good place to stop because we're 5 minutes after.
Right. Cool. And where are you putting that? You're going to pin that here?
Yeah, I'll post it. I'll take a screenshot of it and post it in Discord, but then I'll also add it to our journal in the game in Foundry itself.
Okay. Under handouts.
Under handouts.
Excellent.
All
Awesome.
right.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
We will pick up here next time.
We made it to another place, a new planet.
Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it's been a while.
That's right.
Really, John? The planet's name is Aljana. Really?
I didn't.
is all John.
All John, all the time.
Actually, maybe the J is supposed to be with a Y sound.
Yana.
Like maybe it's all Yana.
Yana.
I'm not sure. I'll go look that up.
No, that's all
But
John now.
Yeah. No, you already said it.
All right, I already said it. All right, all errors are permanent, as Todd
It's
says.
canon.
So
It's canon.
Canon. Yep.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. Well, thanks a
All right.
lot.
Yeah.
Guys,
Give me a little tense
a lot of
between
good
me and
role-playing.
Bircher for a little while.
Yep.
I
Do
appreciate
you see what I
that.
wrote?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a very nice scene. It felt alien appropriate. It felt like Alien. It felt like the movie.
Yeah. It is.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Super good. Thanks,
What?
everyone.
What the incineration of Hoo-Hoo?
Yeah. Me at home and the security. I said, Fred sitting to file her in the complaint.
Had to be
Oh,
done.